Welcome to day 3 of my Gut Loving Life 5-day live video series. I hope you enjoyed the day yesterday and that you managed also to do a little bit of that breathing exercise before all your meals yesterday, before you went to sleep last night, and hopefully this morning also when you got up. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Natalie Sansonetti. I'm a health and nutrition coach and owner of Gut Loving Life, where I offer a 90-day program that takes juggling, busy, stressed moms and professionals from bloated, lethargic and uncomfortable in their clothes and lives to getting their health and bodies and mojo back in control for good. So I'll post a link for you at the end of this video after I've finished, where you're going to be able to book a free discovery session if you'd like to find out how my program can help you to get rid of all the nasties that you're suffering from. So today we're going to talk about a very, very interesting topic and quite controversial, I have to say, and very close to my heart. Basically, we're going to talk about dairy and why it's so nasty for you. First of all, I'd like to say hi to anyone who's joined me here. Hi Neil, hi. If you want to let me know if you're there, let me know. I'm just going to try and find out who is. I know there's a few people, I'm not sure how to do this, but there you go. Send me some hearts and some love on the side. Oh, salut Véronique. Just send me some hearts and tap your screen on the side, send some thumbs ups and you know, just to say hello, just to show me I'm not talking to myself. So yeah, I was talking about dairy, and today I'm going to really bust the myth of dairy. Coucou Catherine. And I'm going to explain to you why dairy is actually, not only is it not good for you, it's actually really nasty for your bones, and you might want to reconsider your consumption of it after you've watched this. So first of all, I need to mention that for environmental reasons also, I would never recommend eating or drinking anything to do with dairy food. Livestock and their byproducts account for at least 32,000 million tons of carbon dioxide, you know, CO2 per year. And it accounts for 51% of all worldwide greenhouse gas emissions. That's a lot more than all the greenhouse gas emissions and CO2 emitted by all forms of transportation put together in the world. A lot more. Okay, so first of all, from an environmental point of view, you might want to really not touch dairy and any of its derivatives, like, you know, milk and cheese and all of that. So also another reason dairy isn't great. So in my practice, I see a lot of people who have IBS, who have digestive issues, energy issues, skin problems, inflammation problems. A lot of modern disease actually stems from inflammation in the gut and in the body in general, and dairy has a big part to play in that. Partly because most of us, and up to 80% of us, are actually intolerant to dairy. And that basically creates a lot of problems with your digestion, with high blood pressure as well, with asthma, mucus overproduction, skin problems like eczema. If you've got eczema, cut out the milk and the dairy. It's one of the worst foods you can have. And all of that is going to make you more sluggish. You're likely to put on weight. It's been linked to cases of diabetes and, you know, lots of problems with obesity and all. So we've been brainwashed for many years into thinking that drinking milk every day is going to give you some strong bones. But there's actually overwhelming evidence and research that shows now that not only is this not true, but it's actually the opposite of the truth. Milk actually depletes iodine, depletes our bones from calcium. The reason for that is that if you eat a lot of dairy food, which is an animal protein, And if you eat a lot of protein as well, generally anyway, like especially animal protein, your body becomes more acidic. So you've all heard that acidity in your body creates more inflammation. It's really nasty for a lot of illnesses. Like I said before, a lot of modern diseases are actually caused by inflammation. So the acidity created by eating a lot of dairy is going to deplete your bones from calcium. Why? Because calcium is actually pulled out of the bones and put into your body to reduce acidity. That's a natural process that your body actually goes through. So your bones are obviously going to release the calcium from the dairy, from any source that it's been storing calcium from, because your bones are actually a calcium storage facility also for those occasions where the body is so acidic it needs to release the calcium. Okay, so the problem with that, obviously, it will increase your risks of fracture, osteoporosis, and all bone-related problems. Okay, so there's actually, again, a lot of evidence to show that in a lot of Asian countries, for example, where dairy food is not very much part of the culture and eating habits, there's a lot less osteoporosis, very, very few cases, or a lot less cases of fracture and bone disease than we have in the West, where we stuff ourselves with a lot of dairy foods. Okay, so obviously there's lots of other things and lots of nasties also in dairy foods, which I could go on and on about, and some of these are antibiotics. Hormones, first of all, because the cows, to be kept lactating, need to be kept on high levels of hormones to make sure they produce a lot of milk. So that's going to go into your glass of milk. Then you've got the antibiotics, because when the cows are kept lactating and on those milking machines all day and for a long, long time, they get infections like mastitis, like any woman who's had babies and breastfed a baby will know it's not the nicest thing to get if you've ever got it. And what happens is you get the pus from the infection in the cow. You'll get the pus that actually goes through your milk. So yes, there will be pus in your glass of milk and in your cheese and yogurt and whatever else you're eating. Yeah. On top of that, there's an element in every milk product called growth factor, which is meant to be, it's a natural factor, it's a natural protein in the milk that's meant to help the baby calf to increase its size by 8 times its baby size by the time it's weaned, right? So it's actually been linked to a lot of cancers because it increases the fast multiplication of cells, and it's been found especially, and there's huge evidence on that, do your research, there's a lot of links to breast cancers and high consumption of dairy because of that growth factor. So really, really reconsider and think twice before having that piece of Roquefort or that glass of milk or yogurt that you're having. Obviously, there are other options that are better than the cheap milk and dairy foods you're going to get in the shop. So one of these is organic dairy, which is definitely better. But so you're not going to get so much of the growth factor, the hormones, the antibiotics, but you'll still have the elements like lactose and other elements in dairy that you might be intolerant to, and which might cause you again inflammation and digestive problems and skin problems and mucus and all of that. So same with the cows, the goats and sheep's dairy. So yes, they are less mucus forming, less inflammatory, but they still are. And they also contain lactose and other elements you might have problems digesting or dealing with if you're really sensitive, which a lot of people are. Okay, so there are a lot of non-dairy options in the shops, and a lot of these are actually really nice. I personally make my own almond milk, and I think I'll show one of these days. I'm going to post a live recipe to show you how quick and easy and lovely it is to make. But today I thought I'd make a nice recipe, because in my practice, when I talk to people about giving up dairy for whatever reason, they really freak out and they think, oh my god, I can never have cheese again. And cheese is obviously a big one for a lot of issues with digestion and, you know, weight gain and all of that. So a really nice alternative to that is actually what I'm going to show you now, and that's cashew nut cheese dip. And it's very simple to make, and I'm gonna turn the camera right here in my kitchen just to show you how it's done. And so I'll explain exactly what I've done. So first of all, you need to soak some cashew nuts. So why cashews? Cashews are amazing because they have a lot of magnesium, which actually helps to absorb the calcium into your bones, and which dairy food doesn't have much of, because it's especially when it's pasteurized and homogenized, like most of the dairy in the shops. So these are great. They have a lot of magnesium. Magnesium's fantastic for relaxing muscles, for relaxing and reducing contraction of your blood vessels. So it's great if you get headaches, migraines, high blood pressure and all of that. It's also got lots of copper, which is really good if you want to keep your hair from getting grey too much. And it's good for zinc as well, which is brilliant for your immune system, really good for your digestion. So really have a few servings, you know, a few handfuls a week, or even a small handful every other day, or a few of them like this, literally 3-4 every day. You'll do really well with that. So I've soaked these to make them a little bit softer, and also to get rid of dust and any, and to make them also more bioavailable, which means when you soak nuts, you make them sprout. You start the sprouting process, which means that all the proteins and goodness out of it is really more easily absorbed in your body and in your gut. So we're going to put that into one of these long, tall cups or bowls. You're going to put, so for about 2 handfuls of cashew nuts, and these are raw and unsalted, you put about 2 or 3, let's put 3 tablespoons of water. That's just normal water, and we're going to squeeze the juice out of 1/2 of a lemon, and we're going to start putting about half of that, or maybe all of it. Let's go for it, just all of it. And then a small pinch of salt, really not too much. So the funny thing about this cashew nut cheese dip, obviously it's not cheese, so don't expect, you know, Roquefort, like I said, or camembert or anything. It's more the consistency of hummus or cream cheese. So then I'm going to use this. So normally I would actually use this really fantastic machine over there, which is right there, which is a Vitamix, which I love, but most of you won't have that in your kitchens because they are so expensive, although you can get some really good ones second hand, like I got mine. So that's it for this. We're gonna mix it all up, blend it. So you want to blend it until it looks a little bit like hummus. Okay. Or like a cream. Okay, so I'm going to try and put it in there so you can see what it looks like. I hope you can see from wherever you are. Please put some comments, say hello. It would be nice to see you, nice to say where you're actually watching from. Mettez des commentaires si vous êtes de la France. Écrivez d'où vous venez, de quelle ville en France. Dites bonjour. Right, so this is your cashew nut dip, and what you do basically when you're making it is you need to really taste it once in a while and see whether it's cheesy enough. And strangely enough, when you put a little bit of salt in this, just the right amount, and that's to taste, so you need to taste it and see which amount suits you best. But it actually gets quite cheesy. It's a really strange thing. And you can have this on top of a baked sweet potato or normal potato. You can actually, I do detox retreats, so I have done quite a few detox retreats, and I would use this on top of a polenta with salsa kind of dish with this spread out on top, and then you bake it under the grill, and it makes a really lovely, slightly crusty brown cheesy top. Very, very nice. So again, this is going to be a lot easier to digest than any dairy food that you might want. It's got really good fat, so it's going to satisfy that fat craving you might have, which a lot of people who crave cheese actually crave the fat. So replacing the nasty fats or less digestible fats in dairy with these kinds of fats is actually a really good idea, and makes it a lot easier to switch from a non-dairy to a dairy option. So also good sources of calcium if you're worried about your bones, and far better choices than dairy. First of all, top of the list would be the seaweeds, okay? And so you can use those in casseroles, you can use them in soups, you can eat a lot of nori sheets, you know, nice and easy as a snack once in a while. They're like these. I eat these, you know, regularly as a snack, just to increase the level of magnesium, calcium, and also iodine in my diet, which is brilliant also in the absorption of all those nutrients and for your thyroid. So these are great. Almonds, cashews are good. A really good one is actually sesame seeds. Sesame seeds are really, really high in calcium and magnesium and lots of other nutrients. And for example, you can have tahini, which is a sesame seed paste, which you can add to any soups, and I even put some in salad dressing sometimes. Don't tell my boyfriend, he doesn't really know about this one, but it's really, really good for high levels of calcium and magnesium. And almonds are really good, and fish with bones, so sardines in particular, are fantastic for high levels of calcium, okay, and they taste good and good protein. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your comments and your hellos. Again, if you want to press the button. Hi Pam, I didn't see you earlier. Hey Laura, salut. Nice to see you all, and thank you for joining me. Tomorrow is again at 12:30. I'll be talking about another myth or another big food group that you might not know all the facts about, and I might show you also a nice little recipe. So share this video, and I'm going to post again a link at the top of the video afterwards to, if you want to book a session with me, a free discovery session to find out whether my 90-day program is something that might help you with all your digestive, energy or other health and stress related issues. Okay, have a good Sunday and enjoy your lunch, and I hope you leave me some comments about whether you've made that cashew nut cheese and if you liked it or not. So for now, goodbye and thank you for joining me. Bye!